Welcome back to the Mountain Witch Tarot channel. I am your host, Sarah, and oh boy, it's happening. Okay, so today has been wild. We've got all this stuff going on with the Senate, the House, and then we've got the emails that came out this morning from the Epstein estate. We've got Donald Trump in a total panic. He's bullying Lauren Boebert as we speak. As I film this, he probably is shouting at her, and she's probably wincing in pain, and also he's probably spittling on her face and his breath. Like, oh God, she ought to keep voting with the Democrats just out of spite for that alone. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble. We're going to get a couple of questions real quick. There's so much going on right now, I'm not sure where to start. So we're going to kind of get what we can, and then I'm going to keep making more videos on this. So hopefully you don't mind talking about the Epstein files, because we're going to be talking about it a lot. All right, before we get started with our first question, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are new here and you love political divination, hit the subscribe, stick around, become part of the community. I'm just mixing my cards up real good here. All right, let's go ahead and start with our first spread. First thing we want to know, how is that secret meeting going right at this very moment? There is talk that Boebert and or Mace might cave and take their names off the petition. Now, I will mention at some point in this process, it will be too late for them to take their names off. So if we can just get to that point, then even if they do change their mind, they won't be able to remove their name. But as of right now, they do have the option. So we want to see how this secret meeting is going. Well, I guess it's not a secret. I don't know. Let's get a few cards down to see how the meeting is going. Okay, well, that doesn't look good, especially because the line ends in a handshake. We have the clouds, we have the cross, we have the snake, we have the fox, and then we have the handshake. So this is very obviously an aggressive, heated situation, lots of stress, lots of worry, lots of covering your tracks and coming to some type of agreement. Looks like we've got some pretty high-ranking officials getting in on this. Ooh, now this is exciting. I'm going to say it. It's probably not going to happen because we're not going to get that lucky. But to me, this looks like this whole ordeal might push Donald Trump right up to the edge. We have the sick bed and the lightning card. He may just fall over and forget who he is for 30 minutes. We'll see. Oh, okay. So it looks like there's a lot of, remember your loyalty. Remember who helped you, who got you here. Remember who's on your side. A lot of messaging of, if you want to keep your job, you're going to do what I say. See that right there? Remember your loyalties and where your loyalties lie, and do as I say. And the birds card right in the center. In this circumstance, considering how awful that top line is, that birds card is amplified big time. So the nervous chatter, the anxiety, and the flying away type of energy is, much heavier and much more severe because of the context around it. So down here in the fate line, which would be, maybe a clue to our ultimate answer of how this meeting goes. Secrets, fighting, something moves. So couple of things here. We've got, if we look at the stork and the anchor, we've got a movement on something that was previously set in place. We've got the message of fighting and dueling. We've got the secret circle alliance, like the, whatever it is that, because, these people have a lot of big secrets. They're a secretive group of people. They do a lot of their plotting behind closed doors kind of energy. So that's ultimately bringing us down here to this fate line. But there's no definitive answer as to whether or not anybody will remove themselves from the petition. Now, I didn't ask that particularly, but this is how the meeting is going. It is bad. Lots of high negative energy here. Lots of fighting. I mean, we've got just about every bad card in the deck, if not all of them. Well, we don't have the scythe, but pretty much everything else is here. So right through the middle, we've got a lot of toxic threats, malicious threats. And then over here, you know, another reference to confusion within the government based on this alliance that Trump has with these people. He's going at it with these people. So let's go ahead and get our next question. Now, this is the big question and the one that I'm most concerned with. What happens once Grijalva is sworn in? When she is sworn in, what comes next with the Epstein files? That's our question. And we're going to do the spread just a little bit bigger to give us just a little bit more context. I believe this is her coming up right here. She's going to stay loyal to her promise. She's going to keep her promise. We know that. Something happening very quickly in the public sphere, public eye, or in a group setting. This quick event leads to some confusion. Now, the man card here could be Trump, could be Mike Johnson. We did not designate that. I probably should have, but I didn't think to do it. Okay, folks, I am so excited today, and not even in a good way. I'm just, I'm vibrating with energy because it's finally happening. Or at least, you know, there is some move on something. And then we have the whole email leak that happened this morning from the Epstein estate. We have confirmation that not only did Ghislaine Maxwell perjure herself by saying that she never saw Trump in the company of, you know, any place he shouldn't be, basically. Just all kinds of stuff coming out. Trump obviously spending time with victims. And I believe they have confirmed now, because originally that victim name was redacted, but I think they have confirmed that it was Virginia Giuffre. So very, very crazy stuff happening. There's so much happening today. Wow. Okay, despite all the shuffling, there's all those bad cards. So, kind of looks like, with those first three cards on the second line, looks like not such a great message. Kind of feels like stagnation for a long time, or something that was standing for a long time is being diminished. It was, you know, the hopes, the selfish desires of Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, to keep this burden under wraps, keep it hidden, because it's so dangerous that they want to keep it hidden. Let's go ahead and get the fate line, and then we'll take a look at that third line. Folks, I'll tell you what, every single reading that I have done today, Donald Trump and the sickbed and the coffin have all come out together. The coffin's not here this time, but the sickbed's here again. I think if it is possible, which I don't believe it's possible, that we can predict, like, you know, when it's someone's time. But if it was, I think we're really close, because I have literally in every reading, like, this sickbed card has come out. I mean, and look how many cards are left. It's not like there's so few cards that the odds were high. There's still like a huge chunk of cards here, but the sickbed card has come out in every reading today. I don't know if this whole incident is just going to push Trump to his ultimate limit, and maybe he's going to end up in the hospital or what. I would imagine that someone that's in the physical condition he's in, this kind of stress could really push him into the red zone. And that's just, I don't know. That's just what's on my mind every time I see this. It's like, holy cow, there it is again. And for the most part, it's been showing up right next to him. So let's take a look at the third line. I think there's a sense here of energizing honor or lending honor to power, finding a different way, messaging, agreements, the scythe card. I think in this third line here, considering that we have the scythe card, I think that there's gonna be a bump in the road. There's gonna be something that goes wrong, but there's still gonna be hope. There's still gonna be some type of messaging and agreements that kind of create a path to get through this. I think if you look through the center, we're looking at a really quick, intense, emotional announcement. There is an underlying issue here with money, finances, dirty, underhanded financial transactions. I've told y'all in the past, I think one thing that we're definitely going to see is this case follow Trump into postmortem. I think that this is going to be going on for quite some time. I think we're going to continue to get a small trickle of information coming out over a period of time. I would like to think that, we'll get the entire files sooner rather than later. But, and we may actually get the files, but I think in the long run, this case is going to be unfolding for a really long time. This line right here, the access right now is going to be kind of chipped away at. And then we have, the sick bed, which is kind of what I was just telling you, is that I think that this is going to follow him into the grave and beyond. I think Adelita Grijalva here is going to, her energy is going to kind of pull something back into this situation that has a pretty positive effect on things. The loyalist showing up here, simply put, I think, and we're already seeing this, if you've been on social media today, Trump's loyalists are already saying like, oh, this is a hoax, this is not real, this is fake news. So they're already doing their due diligence for him. Yeah, so kind of looks like if we interpret the park card as this gathering of people in the meeting, or if, we interpret it as Congress or just the American public, no matter where we kind of place it, in what context, we still have a situation where there is a very self-interest-based agreement made, and I think it's probably going to be something new that we haven't seen before. So, and then over here with the clouds, the cross, and the scythe, this could go a couple of ways. There could be something here about, like, obviously we have a burdensome problem. Could be cut away, could be hit with, agreements, a hopeful agreement kind of cutting into this problem. And at this very moment, like, probably a lot of confusion surrounding it for Mike Johnson. There's a lot up in the air right now, and I don't think that the Republicans really know exactly what to do in this very moment. I think they've prepared, but I think also they must have got hit with like a few surprises. And it's probably those emails that came out today. They probably didn't anticipate that. So that could add some level of fuel to the fire for this situation. And I'll tell you another thing that I wonder about, and just based on what I'm seeing here, it would also make a lot of sense, is think about this. A lot of people who are coalescing in this Trump ecosphere, I don't even know what I'm talking about. All these people that are in his orbit, we'll put it that way, they don't like him, right? I mean, I don't think anybody really likes that guy. Maybe his grandkids probably are like, he's okay, he's a little smelly, but so you have to wonder, why are these people not kind of ganging up behind closed doors and being like, okay, let's do this and get rid of him once and for all? Like, if we all rise up against him, we can have a big enough impact that we won't have to worry about the dirt that he has on us. We won't have to worry about the threats he makes against us because, Donald Trump doesn't impress me as someone who ever makes genuine connections with people. He impresses me as someone who bullies his way through every situation, even if it's just like a social situation. So I don't think that the man really has true friends. And I don't think that the loyalty that he gets from these people comes from a place of, outside of maybe like some of his closest weirdos like Stephen Miller. I can see Stephen Miller actually liking Trump, but is he human? That's debatable. A lot of these other people, I feel like they are not loyal to him because they care about him or they agree with his movement. I think they're loyal to him because he's kind of strong-armed them into being loyal. I'm going to digress. You guys know where I'm going with this. We're going to keep checking in on this and see what we can get and kind of see what we can reveal behind the scenes. Stay tuned. If you're new here and you enjoy political divination, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to stay right on top of this because we have got to get the energy and the momentum back underneath the Epstein files. Another thing I want to mention real quick is there is a backup plan, and I'm going to throw this in real quick. This is a little side note. I did a reading the other day on this, but it was kind of a redundant reading, and I was like, well, this is not that good, so I just didn't post it. But Michael Wolff has a backup plan. If you don't know who Michael Wolff is, he's the journalist who is involved in the email conversation that came out today. So I did a reading on him about a week or two ago. He is going to court and countersuing Melania because she put a slap suit on him, and there's law against that in New York. So he's going to countersue her, and we know that court cases take an extremely long time, but despite that, there is still a backup plan to get the Epstein files out there, and he would probably be it. So him in this lawsuit against Melania, if all else fails, the files will come out through him. And that, like I said, could take decades. We know how slow a court is, and courts like to put things off until they get forgotten. But I just want to throw that out there. Stay hopeful. Keep talking about this on social media. Like I said, we got to get the energy back for the Epstein files. That stuff has to come out. Everybody needs to know what Trump's involvement was with the Epstein files. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have questions that maybe you want me to incorporate into another video, fill the comment section up with questions that you would want me to pull cards for. And we will just keep doing these videos until we get some solid answers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Stick around. I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and evening.